Hey there, Clashers, Willie here. Today I want to bring you guys a comparison of the QuadQuake and the jump spell. Now, I'm not really going to be talking about which one is better because, honestly, that is just a matter of opinion, and the one that is better for you might not be the better option for someone else. So we're going to weigh the pros and cons between the QuadQuake and the jump spell. So I set up a base here on my Town Hall 9, and I've got 3 squares. This one is obviously 7 walls by 7 walls on each side. This one's 8 and 8. And this one is 9 and 9. And I've also set up a big block of walls here down towards the bottom. That way we get a bunch of different looks at the size of the jump and the earthquake. So we'll start off on the 7 by 7. Drop the jump spell and a bunch of giants. They're going to go in, take care of the air defense, and hop out the other end. So 7 by 7 is obviously small enough for the jump spell, and as we'll see here in a second, for the earthquake spells. The earthquakes go in, and they demolish almost every single piece. Moving on to the 8 by 8 square, I drop the jump spell and I try and get it as centered as I possibly can. And if you look and see, it definitely looks like it's touching these walls here. So the giants should be able to jump out of that side. The reason I think they jump out this end is because that's just closer. So they jump out that end, come around, and get the sweeper. The QuadQuakes go down, and it is very clearly large enough to get both sides. The jump spell is a bit questionable. Actually, you get a good look here. It is not big enough to reach from this end to this end. If my drop were slightly closer to this side, it might not have been close enough on this end. We can take another look at that before we're done here. Now we're going to look at the 9 by 9, and there's no doubt that it is way too big for the jump spell. Giants go down, they walk around. So I'm going to go ahead and put the quakes in. Any second, there they go. And it is also too large for the earthquake spells. Now I wanted to drop on this big block of walls here so we can get a good side-by-side comparison, and you can see just how much bigger the earthquake radius is than the jump spell. And I make sure that I drop the jump spell and all of the earthquakes on the exact same piece of wall. So there's the jump spell. You can get a good look at it. And then the earthquakes are going to come in while the jump spell is still active. And we'll pause it there. You can see the ring the jump spell covers. And it is covering only walls that were destroyed by the earthquake spell, but it is not covering all of them. So it's got the exact same amount of walls on this side, but up here you can see just how much bigger the earthquake spells are total than the jump spell. So in terms of size, this right here is a great look at the jump spell and the earthquake spell. And while we talk about that, we're going to take one more swing at the 8 by 8 with the jump spell. Here we go again. I want to get the jump spell perfectly center. Based on what we've seen on the big block of walls, the jump spell should be 7 by 8. Let's see. Go in and break that air defense, and they're hopping out that side again. So let's try one more thing. So we zoom way in, make sure that jump spell goes right there, and then start the giants on the sweeper. Well, it looks like I triggered my clan castle, and they are not going to go over that side. So that jump spell is definitely 7 walls long from that direction. So you're safe to jump 8 walls going this way, but not 8 walls going this way. Alright, so let's talk about pros and cons of the jump spell. Now that we looked at the radii of the jump spell and the QuadQuake, let's talk a little bit about their pros and cons. And while we do that, we're going to play a war attack in the background. So the main pro of the jump spell is that it takes up less housing space. It takes up 2 spell slots compared to the Quake's 4 spell slots, since you do need 4 of them for the QuadQuake. And quite frankly, the amount of space it takes up in your spell slots is a huge pro. And that's the reason that I almost always bring a jump spell as opposed to QuadQuakes. Speaking of space, you can always bring one of your 4 earthquake spells in your clan castle, and then just bring 3 of your own earthquake spells. But doing that, you're most likely going to give up a poison spell. A benefit of the earthquake spell is that it does last for the entire raid. Now, if you take a jump spell, it's only going to last for, I think, 40 seconds at level 2. If your jump spells are only level 1, you really should take a QuadQuake instead. But if your jump spells are level 2, it lasts twice as long as a level 1 jump spell, so it makes it much more worth bringing. The other benefit of the QuadQuake is that it does damage to all of the surrounding buildings except for storages. And that's a pretty decent benefit, but honestly, the damage isn't incredibly high, so I don't consider it to be hugely beneficial. But it does definitely soften up whatever buildings are in the area. But that's basically it with the difference between the QuadQuake and the jump spell. I know people choose one over the other for various reasons. Some people even take both during their attacks. You'll see someone running a QuadQuake with a jump spell, and that's also a good option. You can use the 4 quakes when you're going in, and then use the jump spell on the back end, or vice versa. However that works best for you. Me personally, I like to run the jump spell. Level 2 jump is good for me, and it seems to do the trick. Anyway, that's going to be all for today's video, guys. I know it's a pretty short one, but I hope you found it at least somewhat useful. Let me know what you think about the jump spell and the earthquake spell down in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more Clash of Clans content from me, be sure to click that subscribe button at the end. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I will see you all next time.